You are now listening to Mike's Opinion, Logic Unleashed.
That's right. This is Mike's Opinion and I am Mike. You want to know how to be happy during a pandemic or just happy overall? I am going to tell you some interesting things. So you know what you have to do? Just listen. Hello. Again, welcome to Mike's Opinion, and I am Mike. And are you happy? Are you a happy person? Now, there's a pandemic going on, a global, worldwide pandemic, right? And stress levels are high. Emergency, disaster, words being regularly used these days. So, how can you be happy? Right? That's the question. How can you be happy? You say, Mike, how can I be happy during a pandemic? People are sick. People are dying. Well, the word perspective comes to mind because guess what? People are sick and dying every day. Even without a global pandemic. Every day. Dare I say every minute of the day, there are people sick and dying on a planet with 6 to 8 billion people. So, when you put that in perspective, you say, well, okay, people are dying at a higher rate of a invisible villain called coronavirus, COVID-19, right? I get it. Do not let this invisible monster steal your joy. Okay? Now, there's a saying that says that's easier said than done. Okay, so we got some work cut out for us, right? So, I am personally affected. I have lost income. April, I'm self-employed. I own a couple businesses, and there's peaks and valleys with businesses, and I'm in a valley right now, and I have been for a minute, so this definitely didn't help. But I can tell you the invoices that I'm sending out for the month of April will be non-existent. My clients have ceased services in one of my main businesses, and it's understandable. I'm not going to, I can't blame them for it, but I refuse to let that steal my joy. Because for me, money has never defined me. What I need, not what I want, what I need is a roof over my head, sustenance in the form of food and water. And those are the two basic things I need. Now, from a material standpoint, a sustainability standpoint. Now, I need love. Remember LL song? I need love. And I got that. My wife loves me. My children love me. My siblings love me. My mama love me. My homeboys, my brothers from another mother, they love me. So I have love. I'm fortunate to have love. The word love and life both have 4 letters, but they're 2 different things altogether. Yeah, if you haven't heard that, it's a song by Houdini called Love. Look it up. Hear that. You should listen to that after this podcast. Or pause the podcast, listen to that, and then come back. It's a feel-good record, I think. One of the greats, underrated greats, Houdini. Yeah. I'll do another podcast, probably a 5-part series on hip-hop or rap, because I was in New York City when it was born. And man, love it. Today's, maybe it's just me. There's still some good stuff out there though. But so love, shelter, and sustenance. That's all I need. Now, in this society, in this time, we can't pioneer. I can't hop in my horse-drawn wagon or carriage and me and my wife and son pioneer and claim some land and cut down some trees and build a house and farm some pigs and chickens and goats and live our existence. Those days are gone. We've been robbed of that. Have we? I mean, it's just, where you going to go? Where you going to go and do that? I don't know. If you know someplace, hey, in the comments, in the show notes, my email address is there. Mike'sOpinionShow@gmail.com. That's Mike'sOpinionShow@gmail.com. And tell me where I can still go claim some land, pioneer, build on it, and live happily ever after. If it's in a habitable climate, I'd be surprised. I'm just going to say that, because not only is the planet been claimed virtually in its entirety, people are selling acreage on the moon. My daughter just sent me a link, an article. People are selling acreage on the moon. I'm trying to get in, to be honest with you, but I need to see if it's legitimate first, because they're selling stars. Like, you could name your star. So back to Earth though. I don't know where I can do that. So my point is, you need money to get that sustenance, to get that shelter. Some say you need money for love, but I'm not going to go there right now. But the money is stopped right now, right? Now, the over $2 trillion stimulus rescue package is coming, right? That's putting your finger in the dam. Anybody in the governmental entities that may be listening, that's putting your finger in the dam. That's not going to help. We need another 10 trillion. Okay, because you need to suspend all payments for everything. Excuse me, I hit the microphone. You need to suspend all payments for everything, for everybody. Rent, mortgages, car payments, everything. Shut the whole monetary system down for the rest of the year. How about that? Early Merry Christmas to the planet. All worldwide governments. Nobody pays for anything. Nobody owes anything. We're going to start again. And I hadn't heard this. Maybe it's out there, but we're going to give everybody an 850 credit score. How about that? We're going to wipe all credit debt. The credit bureaus, everybody gets to start fresh, because I talked about the ripple effects in a couple past episodes, My Corona and My Corona 2. And listen, this ripple effect is going to go on for a while, especially from a fiscal or economic standpoint. This is going to ripple. So people are going to lose their houses, their businesses, credit reports are going to be damaged, car payments. This is, and pandemic. This is because of an invisible villain known as SARS-2, novel coronavirus that causes COVID-19. So this is what's really happening. Okay? Now, if you're rich, the rich get richer, right? Regardless. But right now, I just read yesterday where Warren Buffett is snatching up some stuff that's dirt cheap, and they just gonna wait when it pops back. If it pops back. It being the stock market, stocks and bonds and currencies, foreign exchange markets. If all is bounced back like it most likely will, because this is not the end of the world, then man, and I'm not even going front, I got my little accounts, they got the apps now that you don't have to pay no fees to buy and sell. I copped a few things, couple $100. I mean, I'm not really doing much, but I'm trying to get in where I fit in. I'm trying to make some money. Now, these people do this on a massive scale. They buy millions of shares, so they'll make millions and billions of dollars. I ain't there yet. I hope to get there. Support the show, by the way, please. Check in the show notes. You can send Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. I need you. I need your help. More importantly, subscribe, follow, comment, like, and all that. I really, really appreciate it. But you can find information in the show notes, and you know how to like, share, and do all that. Subscribe. Tell all your friends. Tell everybody. I'm global, though. People listening all over the planet. And like I said, I'm just out. I'm not even 2 weeks old yet. And I'm not, it's not blowing up. Let me just be clear. But there are just people listening, so, and I'm loving it. Thank you. But, so this ripple effect, right? What's going to happen to the victims of this? If you can hear me, if you are one of the people that are saddened or angered or depressed, this episode is for you, because I would like to empower you with some ways and some tools to find happiness, and not just during this pandemic, definitely, especially during this pandemic, but after the pandemic and for maybe the rest of your life. When I started this podcast, my highly opinionated self, and I've always been called different, so maybe I am different, but I just want to spread love, joy, and happiness. Happy feelings. Shout out to Frankie Beverly and Mays. I want to make this world a better place, and this is my tiny contribution. Now, I'm a person. I volunteered several times in my life. My son's almost to the age where I'm going to teach him and take him with me to volunteer. I help my neighbors, and I'm not afraid to accept help either if I need help, or even ask for it if I need it. But and I'm gonna mention like 11 things you can do for happiness, and tell you some other things, but that's one of them. And Barack Obama has said it. There's many people has said it. But if you live your life, and you don't have to be like a martyr, but if you have some focus in your life on helping others, like what can I do for somebody today? We need it now more than ever during this horrible pandemic. How can you help? And you can say, well, I'm the one that needs the help, and that's all good. But even if it's smiling at somebody, if it's writing a letter, when's the last time you sat down and hand wrote a letter? Even if your penmanship is bad, just take your time and pen a letter and put it in an envelope and put a stamp on it. That's wow. I would dare venture to say that there's not a lot of people that do that these days. That's old school communication. Everybody wants to shoot a text. Like, I'd wonder if anybody under 25 has ever written a letter. Like, I would love to see the statistics on that. Survey says of 100 people under 25 that have written a letter and mailed it to someone, survey says 0. That would be my guess. 0. My hero, 0. Yeah, shout out to Schoolhouse Rock. But do that. Write a letter to somebody. A happy letter. Now, of course, they may need to spray it down with antibacterial spray or Lysol and get the wipes out before they can read it. But that's okay. That's okay. Maybe they can just sit it in the freezer for like an hour. It's just a letter. So that can freeze the virus. And it could be clean and ready to read. Lots of nice things, small things that are really big that you can do. So many things that we can do. If you know how to cook something. Send it to somebody. Maybe a neighbor. Well, social distance is real, so maybe you have to leave it on the doorstep, ring the doorbell, let them know it's virus-free, coronavirus-free. Didn't sneeze on it. I don't have the virus. At least I don't know. I'm asymptomatic, and I can't get tested because I'm asymptomatic. So, sorry, I may have the virus, but I didn't know that I had the virus, and I might have given you the virus with this well-meaning dish that I'm giving you. So, maybe you should make something and then freeze it, and then give it to them. So even if you are asymptomatic but positive, COVID-19 positive, but you don't know it, you can still share good food with your neighbor and not spread the disease, the virus. So far, let's recap. Writing, you can write an old school letter, or you can cook something if you happen to be able to cook or bake. Those are two things that you can do. In my most recent episode prior to this one, I mentioned spending time with your children, like embracing your children. Like a lot of people, my kids get on my nerves, No, flip that and just take a good hard look at their face, their nose, and not just your kids, maybe that significant other, that lover, that husband, even a friend, tell them you love them. Tell them I was thinking about you and what's important to me during this pandemic. And I just wanted to tell you that I care about you and I cherish you in my life. Especially if it's somebody you haven't talked to in a while. I am up in age. I'm over half a century old. And so I'm really not that social media dude. But to me, in my opinion, this is Mike's opinion. I am Mike. It just seems impersonal. People post all this stuff and you read it and you tag and, it's impersonal to me. Just give me a hug. Talk to me. Come and talk to me. I really wanna. Jodeci. Yo, Jodeci, come back. We need a Jodeci album right now. Anyway, I digress as usual. But just, I like that face-to-face interaction, which I know social distancing we can't do right now. But you can talk to somebody over the phone. Like I said, write that letter. So, how to be happy during a pandemic, and any time really, but especially during hard times. It's hard to smile. One, remember this. If you don't know this already, never, ever lose your sense of humor. Comedians know this. They find humor in the most tragic situations, right? Death, pandemics, accidents. They find the humor in it because, yes, you got to acknowledge the realness of the situation, and without being disrespectful or making light or insulting anyone, find the humor in something. I heard this on another podcast, and I want to just share it with you. It was a joke. I don't know the joke, but it had to do with Kobe Bryant when he passed. And the joke was, Kobe passing? Like a question, because Kobe as a basketball player Or it was a little selfish at times. He would, hog the rock. He would hog the basketball and go for himself. He wasn't really known for passing. And it wasn't insult on Kobe. And some people thought it was too soon for a joke like that. But, him passing as in crossing over, rest in peace, to Kobe Bryant. I know this is the last thing his wife needed right now was a pandemic on top of her grief. Bless you to Kobe Bryant's family and to all of the other people or families of the people that died in that helicopter crash. It wasn't just Kobe and his daughter. There were other people. I think 6 or 7 other people. So, pandemic on top of tragedy. Wow, I hadn't really thought about that till just this moment. And I want to send out my positivity and my vibes to them, But looking at photos, processing that particular thought, I can imagine Kobe's wife looking at photos and videos, and that might bring just a glimmer, a small bit of happiness and escape from the grief. And the same thing for all of us. Stay informed, but don't let the news consume you. Get updated, but don't immerse yourself in it like during your entire waking hours. Turn it off and listen to something, look at something, do something that makes you happy. Very important during these times. And pictures. Pull out some old photo albums. Like I said, my son is in single digits and he's starting to ask these questions, right? And he asked me, Dad, what did you look like when you were a baby? And I was like, what? I'm about to show you. I pulled out the old photo albums. And, he was interested for about 10 minutes. You keep flipping. It's just pictures of me in little baby outfits. For me, though, it was like memory lane, like pictures I hadn't really looked at in probably decades. And I had a little bow tie outfit. I was cute. I was cute. No, I was. No, I really was. I think I still am. Anyway, you can spend a long time just doing that old photos and videos and escape the madness, escape the pandemic horrors. You can do that. You can choose to do that. Okay? So, I just want to try and help. I want to suggest things to you. Do you like to knit or crochet? Maybe you should start. If you can find some coronavirus-free yarn, and I'm pretty sure maybe you can. Anything small enough, my understanding, and please look up CDC, EPA, and other resources. But my understanding is this virus cannot survive cold or heat. So if you get 4 balls of yarn, put them in the freezer. That should kill everything. Okay? Well, so once again, check with somebody more official than myself. But maybe you want to do jigsaw puzzles. My mother is a jigsaw puzzle fanatic. My mother has 2 advanced degrees and is a published author and a retired teacher. My mom is the bomb. Love my mama. And her relaxation is thrown on some oldies, some music, and working a jigsaw puzzle. That is her thing. Now she reads a lot, she's still writing and doing stuff, but that's her jam right there. She put on some Shirley Bassey or some Engelbert Humperdinck, some stylistics, and lay out a 1,000, 2,000 piece jigsaw puzzle, and she is in Shangri-La. What's your Shangri-La? What you like doing? You know, so my point is, make extra effort during this pandemic to make yourself happy. And one way I suggest you do it is by making other people happy. You ever like got somebody that perfect gift for their birthday or holiday or Christmas or whatever, and watching the joy on their face as they open it and receive that? How does that make you feel? It makes you feel almost as good as them receiving it, right? I know it does for me. I love giving people stuff and making people happy and making people smile. I love that. And try that and see how it makes you feel. So I said I was going to share some things today, and typically, you have access to the internet because you're listening to a podcast. So I usually don't. I just refer you to go get the facts. Okay. My opinion is strongly filled with facts and knowledge that I've acquired myself. But today, I'm going to share a few things that I found about happiness. And I found this on a website called Bustle.com, like hustle, but with a B. And I'm getting no kickbacks. I have no sponsors at this point, but I'm like 11 days old. So it's all good. But sponsors, reach out. I will read your ad. I will read it. Anyway, this is 11. The title of this article is 11 scientific facts about happiness that you'll want to know. Now, I reviewed this real quick before I decided to share this on the podcast. And some I agree with, some I don't. Now, I'll expand a little bit, but I won't spend too much time on this because I have something else I want to get to. So, the first one is happiness has power over your immune system. And when I read that, I was like, we need to hear this. Everybody needs to hear this because this is something I knew already. The power of positive thinking. Excuse me. Just clear my throat. That wasn't a corona cough. Haha. But happiness has power over your immune system. It goes on to say being happy doesn't just sound like a pleasant thing. It can be a pleasant thing for our bodies. Specifically, happiness can boost our immune systems. Research published in the journal Psychosomatic Medicine found people who have more positive emotions are less likely to develop the common cold. That's amazing. Isn't that amazing? That is amazing to me when I read something like that. But I knew it. The power of positive thinking is real. People that treat cancer, they tell their patients, you have to think positive because there is power, real power in emitting positivity through your brain or from your brain. You heard that saying, good vibes? It's real. It's real. And I think those that learn to really hone that and magnify that, you ever come across a person and you just feel that good energy from them? And I think maybe alcohol or weed or something, it lowers our inhibitions and allows us to receive more. Unfortunately, it works, with good and bad. Because there's those, you ever been around somebody, your spidey sense goes off, your hair raises up on you, and you're like, I don't know what it is, just something about you. But it's the same thing with positivity and goodness. What do you emit? When you're around somebody, when you step in a room, are you a positive person? Do you emit love and positivity and good vibes? I hope so. I think I always have people I can let's just be clear. I'm human, I have the full range, and I can just be not good about 2% of the time. All right, maybe 5%, but 95% of me is a happy person, and I've been a happy person my whole life. There's another one of the items out of these 11 that made me think about that, because I'll go to it in just a second. But you can affect your physical health by thinking happy, by being happy. And I know for a fact that's real. The second one on this list is doing good for others means doing good for yourself. I touched on that a bit earlier in this podcast. I don't think I need to say very much more of that. But yeah, if you do good for others, you feel good. The third one is some extent of happiness is inherited. Now, this I thought was weird. But according to researchers from the University of Minnesota, a portion of your happiness is inherited. So I'm not saying if you just been mean and grumpy your whole life, you should go smack your mama or kick your daddy in the nads. I'm not saying that, because that would be rude. But they may have contributed to your mood. The research was done with some twins, and they correlated the genetics on it. So I just thought that was really interesting, that just like alcoholism or predispositions to certain medical conditions are inherited, passed on from your parents to you, happiness can be too. Now here's something I knew. I know but Floral Sense can make you happy. Sense, like SCENTS. Smells. Like, I don't know about you, but whether you're in the house or you're away and you come in the house, and that smell of chocolate chip cookies, like, hits your senses. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, y'all. And it may be, I don't know, shrimp etouffee, or a fresh loaf of bread baking, or, you opening that jar, that kush, or whatever it is. But smells can make you happy. So go sniff something. What do you like? What do you want to? What makes you happy? Just go smell something. But floral scents, not just the scents, flowers. I'm one of those people. I'm organic. I love nature. I'm what people call a tree hugger. And I've never taken the beautiful things on this earth for granted. And for me, flowers, like many other things, they're amazing. Amazing. The colors, the vibrancy in those colors, the shapes, of course, the aromas, the perfumey, scents. And get some flowers. When was the last time you put fresh flowers in your house? Or get one flower, because flowers can be a little pricey. But if you go to the florist, sometimes they get ready to toss some stuff. Or, flowers, they have expiration dates, right? So even though they found ways to increase the longevity and the life of them, but it don't even have to be nothing fancy, no exotic fancy. They got the little, like a $2, get the little bunch of like some daisies and, some little, I forgot the little ones they put on the side, the little white ones. But anyway, they don't have to be, roses or orchids or anything like that. But just get some flowers, smell them, and put them in a McDonald's cup if you don't have a vase. Do you say vase or vase? I say vase. It could be vase. Tomato. But yeah, get some flowers, smell them. Look at them. Take some pictures with them. Selfies with your flowers. Say, look, I was listening to my man Mike on Mike's Opinion, and I went and copped these flowers. I went and got them, and I put them in this old fast food cup. And here I am. Cheese. And take your picture with those flowers. Let's try to find that happiness during this pandemic. We gotta fight, y'all. You gotta fight back. You remember that song about the Beastie Boys? You gotta fight for your right to be happy. Yeah, I just remixed it because it was fight for your right to party. But anyway, so yeah. But on that Floral Scent study, that came from Rutgers. They said Rutgers University did a study and said that those who are exposed to floral scents are about 3 times as likely to be happy. So triple your happiness. Get some flowers. Number 5, I didn't really agree with at all. It said people that are on hourly wage opposed to getting a salary are happier. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and skip by that because I don't know about that. The research theorized that it could be because employees are able to better focus on the worth of their time in each paycheck. I think that's excuse me. Anyway, I just don't agree with that one because if you're getting a fat salary, you know that check is going to be regular. You know what it's going to be. And typically, it has been my experience that if you're salaried, you're usually in the upper echelon and making more. You're in a higher tax bracket. So, I think that one's hogwash. Number 6, relationships are more important than money. Relationships are more important than money. Now, if you didn't know that, if money rules you, cash rules everything and mound me. Excuse me, I said mound me. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. Shout outs to the woo. But it never has me. Money doesn't define me. Material things have never defined me, and I highly suggest it not you. Okay? The people in your life. The other life forms in your life. Because it's not just people for me. I love my pets. I have a cat and 2 dogs currently. But I have had cats and dogs my whole life. Birds, reptiles, hamsters, fish, And I only had one bird. It was my grandmother's bird. I grew up with that bird. I don't really agree with birds being in cages. But we had a canary named Petey. And that bird was cool as a fan. And he used to just chirp in the morning. And he used to look at me. And he used to open the cage door. He would come out. And yeah, Petey was cool. Rest in peace, Petey. But that was back in like the 70s. Yeah. Anyway. But this came from Fast Company. And they did a study from the Journal of Socioeconomics. And they found that relationship satisfaction, romantic or platonic, played more of a role in happiness than $100,000 would. Now, right about now, I could use 100 G's. I'm just saying 100 stacks would be perfect. I've never had that much in my hand at one time in my entire life. And that's sad to say, but it's true. So, it would make me pretty happy to have 100 stacks, $100,000, and I would help some people with it and do some things with it. Pay some of my bills with it. But at the end of the day, cars, houses, jewelry, fancy this, fancy that, none of that matters. What matters are the relationships in your life. Like, I don't know what I would do without my wife. Right? I have a partner of mine, one of my brothers. He's a brother from another mother, but we grew up in New York together, running the streets of New York City. And he lives out in Cali now. And his wife's brother, if I understand it correctly, but someone close to them, it was three of them, the husband, wife, and a small kid who's I think 6 or 7. But the mom died. And the dad has to raise this kid by himself. And when I heard that a few months ago, it hurt my heart, because I was like, I can't imagine my life without my wife and trying to raise my son. You know, because we homeschool, and like I said, I'm self-employed. I office out of the house, so we together all day, every day. And some of my partners like, yo, how could you be around your wife all day, every day? And I was like, because I love my wife and I like my wife. She's my best friend. And we have a unique relationship, at least I think it is, compared to traditional relationships. And, I can't even imagine my life without her. So my point to all of that is I hope you love someone, and I hope they love you back. Loving somebody when somebody loves you back. There's a Teddy Pendergrass song. It just made me think about that. You should listen to that too. It goes, it feels so good loving somebody when somebody loves you back. So kids, pets, your mama, your daddy, siblings, anybody, that is what really matters at the end of the day. Friendship, good friends, the people in your life, find happiness in them. Communicate with them. Not on social media, as they say, not on social media, but talk to somebody, but relationships, very important to happiness. Number 7 is bright colors can brighten your day. I knew that. Like, find a bright yellow and just look at it. Like a bright yellow or an orange, Once again, that goes back to the flowers thing as well. Bright colors, I think that's like a no-brainer. Number 8, happiness can help alleviate pain. According to this, a 2005 study published in the Journal of Consulting and Clinical Psychology looked at women who suffer from arthritis and chronic pain. According to the study, those who experience more positive emotions, happiness, enthusiasm, etc., were less likely to experience pain. Once again, it goes back to the power of positive thinking. Your mind is so powerful. They say we only use 30%, 10%, I don't know. But the power of your mind, that the things that you can control your happiness, can greatly contribute to your happiness. Number 9, being outside can make you happier. Now, I don't even think it's just outside. It's just really if the sun is shining or not. And you're closer to the sun even on a cloudy day if you're outside. So I get it. Breathing the quote unquote, you can't see me, but my fingers are up, quote unquote, fresh air. Chemtrails, that's a whole nother show. But pollution, is the air really fresh? Some say the air inside your house is worse than the outside. But being outside can change your outlook. Number 10, I don't agree with this. It says women are more prone to the holiday blues. I'm just going to skip that. And lastly, happiness is contagious. Number 11, happiness is contagious. You ever hear someone laugh and it makes you laugh? Immediately what just came to mind is my grandmother. I wish I had that. I need to find like a snippet and put it on. My grandmother's laugh would make anybody laugh. And that's how my son is too. My son, he laughs. It just makes me laugh. He and him laugh. But children's laughter, is something about children's laughter, right? That just, I don't know. It's something about the way that they laugh that just makes you laugh. It makes you feel joy. It makes me feel joy. I don't know. I hope it does you. So make some children laugh. Listen to their laugh. So those are 11 things. I just, in my research, I wanted to find ways to find some happiness in a pandemic, and that you can incorporate after this pandemic. Thinking positive. Not letting your circumstances overwhelm you. And I know if your car's about to get repoed, if you face an eviction, if you have a medical issue, if you're laying in a hospital bed right now, you broke a bone, or you contracted the virus or any other ailment, it's hard to face that and smile. Excuse me. I get it. But you got to fight for that happiness. You hear me? You have to stand up to that sadness, to that worry, and that negativity. And you have to fight for your happiness. If none of the things that I've mentioned today are effective for you, find something that is. Even if you steal 5 minutes of joy, steal it. Take it and find that happiness. Do not be afraid to be happy. It's okay. Even in the face of a pandemic. Smile. Laugh. Find something that brings you joy and embrace it. Okay? I grew up in the projects in New York City. And I remember my grandmother embracing the same philosophy, because she's like, these bills don't stop. So we're going to get the chuck cut today. Okay? We're getting some chuck beef today. We're not getting us the trimmings to make hamburgers today. Today we spend an extra $2, $3 and we getting the chuck today. We deserve that today. And I don't care what it is, big or small. Hopefully you've taken some of those things and can incorporate that into your life. I was going to lead the podcast with what I'm about to say, but I decided to say it towards the end. Because it's really, for me, it's the number one thing. The number one thing, the number one reason for you to be happy. Okay? This is the number one reason for you to be happy. You ready? Here it comes. The number one reason you should be happy today, or even during a pandemic, or any time, is because you are alive. Hear me. You are alive. If you are listening to my voice right now, that means you are alive. Your heart is beating. Your circulatory system is working. Your lungs are breathing, even if they are contaminated with some respiratory ailment. Think about that. You are a living creature, a living being right now. You are alive. We take that for granted sometimes. And if you really hone in, focus back and look at your life, your vibrancy, your essence of life within you, you gotta smile. You gotta smile. I'm alive. If you're in a hospital bed, if you are stricken with some debilitating disease, if you're sitting in your car, if you're laying in your bed, if you're at the gym, if you're taking a walk, you're breathing, your heart is beating, you are alive right now. If you live to 75 years old, your heart will have beaten or beat 2.5 billion times. You know that? The heart expels 2 ounces of blood with each beat. 5 quarts of blood each minute. That's amazing. You know how many things have to sync up for you to be alive? We take it for granted. We don't even think about it. We just go about this day. Be happy. You are alive. You are alive. The word alive. Alive. Say it with me. I am alive. If you're in a place where you can shout it, shout it. I am alive. And the only reason I'm not yelling it, because you may have headphones on, I don't want to do that to your ears. But we're alive. And it matters. And you should be happy that you're alive. Being alive is a balancing act, like the dude or girl that's walking on that wire high in the air. Because while we are durable, we are highly fragile as well. As living organisms, living beings, complex organisms. You know, the slightest thing can kill you. And then I watch some of these kids that have fallen off of skateboards and wonder how they stayed alive. Anyway, don't take your life for granted. Be happy that you are alive in this moment in time right now, at this very second. And that you can breathe in, you can breathe out, your heart is pumping, the blood flow is circulating throughout your body, and feel your liveliness, feel your aliveness. Like, feel yourself being alive right now. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? I mean, can you feel it? The blood coursing through you, your heart beating, the intake of air and the exhalation. These systems going on within you, your visionary systems, your auditory systems, all these systems within you, nervous system, pulsating with life. It's the number one reason you should be happy right now. Right now. All the rest is just that, it's the rest. I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad I'm alive. We're here. Okay? Embrace that. Embrace that. I wanted to give you that today. The things that I mentioned, I think, are basic foundational things to be happy. Seek it out. Do happiness research for yourself. See what you can find. Drop it in the comments. Email me what you found about happiness. I'm always willing to learn. I love learning. I think I'll learn something every day of my life until I perish. I don't ever want to stop learning. So I want to thank you for listening to Mike's Opinion. I really do. I hope to be doing this for a long time. I don't know if I ever get to a point where, you do live shows and write books and share. I would love to affect this world positively. And I hope that I'm doing that in some form or fashion for you, either on a grand or minuscule scale, as long as it's some kind of happiness. But that's why I'm doing it. So, thanks again for listening. I'm Mike, and this is the Mike's Opinion Show. Stay safe out there.
Thank you so much for listening to Mike's Opinion. Logic Unleashed.